Hi, everyone. This is Mini Mindful Moment a la IAMX. And our topic for today is how leaders can shine amidst chaos. I'm so glad to be with you here today. Let me get my screen the right size here. I am Karen Tex, and I am a leadership coach. And this week's mindfulness practice, as I said, is focused on how you can shine as a leader amidst chaos. We certainly do have a bit of chaos happening around us these days. So you can join me in my Zoom room here live if you would like, and we can have some debrief time at the end to go over how this went for you. Last week, we talked about, or we experienced really, the IAMX Compass, which is a tool that I created to help you apply mindfulness in practical ways, like how to strengthen your leadership presence in very specific business-oriented ways. The IAMX Compass is based on the rhythms of the seasons. So it connects us to nature and is something that we all can relate to. So if you missed last week's session, please check that out. So leadership presence, right? It's important because when we encounter chaos, it's your leadership, our leadership together, that will allow you to navigate what's happening in graceful and effective ways. So let's start this process by going back to the compass. So the north is symbolic of winter or midnight, night. It could be also that day by day. Yep. And it's where you become aware of how you're showing up. What is the quality of aliveness you are bringing to your challenges? You can think of it as aliveness or awareness or attention. How are you showing up? So when we encounter different kinds of challenges, say, we can either be reactive or responsive. All right, so let's see what this could actually look like. When you're reactive, there's really two different ways that you can go. You either are going to go into collapse, or which is a low energy way of being, or into hyperdrive, which is a very high energy way of being. So if you want to be able to shine over time in chaos, neither one of these is going to be most effective. Instead, what you want to be able to do is be in a responsive place in how you're showing up by tending to your leadership presence, which means bringing a calm, grounded, alert, like we're not falling asleep here, folks, right? It's alert and calm to the situation. So in fact, I would say that being able to move between reactive and responsive, I'm not saying responsive is better here, but being able to move between is the most important leadership skill that you can have these days, particularly because of the exponential speed and increasing connectivity that's happening between us, like in email, chat, social media, that kind of thing. So it can feel like all you can do is go with what's already happening by default, right? That sort of intense, okay, I just have to cope with it. But what we need to do instead is to be able to chart our own course. I love this picture. So, and how you do this by looking for opportunity within the chaos so that we can like smile at the dragon and make choices that are best for ourselves and for others and for our business. So to start, I want each of you to think about how you get triggered into reactivity. When do you go into reactive collapse, that low energy place? And when do you go into reactive, struggling, adrenaline, kind of a driven, hyper energy, hyper alive state? We all do this stuff. Like these are very, very normal. We all experience, and often in combination. So it's important to not demonize ourselves when we feel reactive, But the key is to be aware of when it's happening. When do we get reactive so that you can shift into responsiveness quickly or however long it's going to take and ultimately shine amidst chaos. And this is what great leaders do. They're able to do this. So all of this that I'm talking about are winter skills in the north of the compass, where you become aware of what's happening within you and show up with healthy power and leadership presence. So, what I'd like to do now is have us just go into a practice together where you settle in to this mindfulness practice. Mindfulness is how you can learn how to shift between reactive and responsive. And what I want you to do is to just welcome all of yourself here. All of you is welcome in these mindfulness practices, the reactive parts, the responsive parts, and get comfortable in a way that works for you. And if you need to be moving, move, open your eyes, keep them open and move, because these practices need to work for you as that can be for you. So go ahead and close your eyes if you want to, if that helps you go within. And make sure that you plant your feet firmly on the ground, whether you're sitting or moving. So I have people in my corporate setting who lie down on the floor, like whatever you want to do. And what I want as you feel your feet or body on the ground, I want you to let yourself feel held by the earth. Just notice what it feels like to be held. And notice your breath, just the natural in and out as you breathe. Nothing weird here. We're just breathing. And as you're breathing and you're noticing your breathing, notice how you can feel your body enlivening, feeling alive. And feel the aliveness inside of you. So as you're breathing, let your breath take you to your center, wherever that is for you. It might be your belly, it might be your midline along your spine. This is just a way to orient yourself inside of yourself. So feel your way inside with your breath. And notice where you can feel some stillness and balance inside of you. It might feel pretty frenetic in there if you're new to this, but there is a center inside of each of us that is still and balanced. And so don't worry if you can't find that right now. It comes with practice, finding your center. So I want you to notice your aliveness and the life force energy that animates you, and let that energy of you connect with the earth. Just imagine life force energy like dropping into the ground, connecting with living things around you. It could be plants. I can see the woods outside my window here, animals, ground, the earth, or whatever is living around you. Let your energy connect with life. And when you do this, you can feel grounded and safe. Notice how right now, in this moment, you are safe. Now think about how you can get pushed into reactivity. So bring to mind one specific challenging situation where you've been frustrated. And notice what you're thinking right now about this situation. Noticing your thoughts is like noticing the internal weather. It's constantly changing. Maybe you're thinking that you're being criticized. Maybe you're thinking you're not doing enough. It's all going to fall on you to do everything. Notice how you might be blaming others for what's going on. They are putting you in this situation, whatever it is. Just notice whatever thoughts are coming up and let these thoughts just flow through you like the weather. So, as you're noticing how it is to be reactive in this moment about this situation, notice your breath and what's been happening to your breath. Like, I just went short, like I felt like I couldn't breathe as deeply. Notice if you're feeling like that, and let yourself come back to your breath. And now notice how you might be feeling about this situation, your emotions. And again, this is like internal weather. It just moves, constantly moving. But maybe you're feeling the sadness of loss, anger, maybe as you feel betrayed, anxiety because of a difficult situation. Maybe it's trepidation about an uncertain outcome. There's just a lot of that happening. So, whenever you get triggered into reactivity, what do you habitually think and feel? It's like it could be feel like this is on repeat. And what do you habitually do? So let yourself be with whatever is coming up. And at the same time, I want to say if you can remember that it's never just what you're thinking and feeling and doing and nothing more. It can feel like all of these things are smushed on your face and that's all you can see. But you always have more options than the habits of your reactive thinking and feeling. And focusing on others with blame and judgment keeps you disempowered and disconnected from your agency, your healthy power. So let's focus from inside of you now. Just go inside. We're going to go a little deeper here, where there is always more space. You can feel spacious inside of you. There's always more energy. Yeah, we need sleep. We do. And then we get back and there's always more energy. There's always more creativity. And there's always more possibility. And right now, in this moment, give your nervous system and body an opportunity to simply be with your reactivity, whatever is coming up from that frustrating situation. Or maybe you're feeling fine about it, right? We're just navigating this inner territory of you as you can. So notice your breath now as you accept being reactive and let your breathing just bring you back to your center as you can. Back to stillness and balance inside of you. So pushing reactivity away keeps you in old habits that keep things on repeat, disconnected from your healthy power and your agency, and a sense of what could be a growing sense of being capable without being controlling. That's the thing that's beautiful about leadership presence and shining in chaos in this way, is that you don't have to become controlling and manipulative of others. This is where you can shine by tapping deeper into the center of you. Because if you just react, you won't see the opportunity and the beauty that is here, and old patterns will stay on repeat. So notice the aliveness that's in you now. What is it feeling like in there? Is your energy low? Is your energy high? Maybe you're both calm and alert in a more responsive place. There's no right or wrong here. We're simply noticing. And you can possibly in this moment shift into being calm and alert, where you're responsive by dropping your energy into the ground, into the life around you, like we did earlier, and noticing how in this moment you can feel safe. You are doing enough. You are a good person. You can feel steady through the highs and the lows. From your center, you can feel anchored into your best qualities, your responsive self, reactive as needed. With your breath, notice the aliveness of your best qualities. This is where you feel open, aware, engaged, connected to yourself and life. Now, I want you to think about the same exact challenging situation where you got reactive and frustrated. And how do you notice that you're relating to that situation now? How does it feel? What more feels possible? Maybe. I'm taking you pretty deep pretty quickly. So you can get a sense of these inner territories, and you're probably going to resonate with some of this and maybe not with all of it. And that's fine. So let yourself notice what choices are available to you when you feel open and aware and connected to yourself and life in this spacious place that's the essence of you. From here, your reactivity can feel really different. It's like you could think about being frustrated and ask it, like, what is it telling you about what deeply matters to you? Mhm. Yeah. What is that frustration you've been feeling? How might it be useful to you? By connecting with the space and energy and possibility at the center of you, you can free yourself from the limitations of your reactivity and shine amidst chaos. And I also want you to know that it can be really tricky to shift out of reactivity. So you might want to listen to this particular mini mindful moment more than once. This is why we practice mindfulness, is because it's like building this muscle of being able to be in your centered self, showing up from your best self. And if your reactivity is persistent, and if it feels traumatic in any way, please get support. You don't need to stay in that place and alone, right? I know it can be hard. And now I'd like you to just go ahead and come out of this practice, kind of like reemerging from an adventure, inner adventure, by wiggling your toes and your fingers, and open your eyes if they've been closed. And keep noticing this feeling of responsive, essential best self of who you are. What we're doing with these practices is growing your connection to those aspects of yourself so that you can relate to your reactivity in ways that are useful, that you can learn what's going on there. So as you go through the rest of your day, I invite you to notice when you're reactive and consider what additional choices are available to you when you are in an open connection with your best self, and choices that could be good for you and others and your business. So let me finish off with some next steps for you to consider in applying this practice. You can practice noticing your reactivity and connect with your responsive center, and practice shifting between being reactive. Oh, I wrote that wrong. That's so funny. This should say reactive and responsive right there. Okay. Mistakes are made by all. All right. Thank you so much for listening to this. I hope it's helpful, and take care.